Ladies and gentlemen, the day of reckoning on election fun in the state of Arizona has arrived. See, as we all know, there was a grand jury subpoena to go into Arizona, take the election machines, the ballots, and everything else that had to do with 2020, 2022, and 2024. And ladies and gentlemen, well, we just got a massive update. What they have discovered is, in one way, it is shocking, but on the other hand, we knew. We got a massive update from Senator and from Kari Lake herself on Arizona on what's happening, what to expect, and what they have discovered. Smash that thumbs up, subscribe, leave me a comment. How's your day going? And really quickly, before we get into the story, today's sponsor and the sponsor of the channel overall, Verity Metals. Gas prices through the roof. Stock market is down. Before it hits your IRA, 401k, retirement, and saving plans, ladies and gentlemen, convert it into stable, constitutional, physical gold and silver. Verity Metals, they're patriots, people of faith, and Trump supporters like you and I. Call or text them today at 888-328-6105 or go to veritymetals.com. Tell them Vlad sent you. Links are down below in the description. Thank you. Now, from here, we're going to jump onto my X page, and I'm going to play you two clips. First one is this of Arizona State Senator Mark Finchem explodes on the election. Quote, "There's evidence Democrats kept it out of the courts."
I don't want to preclude any opportunity for DOJ to make an announcement about what they're finding, but I happen to know some of the actors who have evidence that they have turned over. It's evidence that we were informed of back in November 2020. So for these clowns to say, oh, there's no evidence, Brnovich had no evidence, there was no evidence in court. Well, you did everything, this is the radical left Democrats, you did everything possible, including buying off judges, to keep these cases out of court so that evidence could not be presented. Well, there's a case in Atlanta, Georgia, curling. The curling case showed that these machines could indeed be hacked within 5 minutes from a damn cell phone. So don't give me this argument that we have no evidence. That is pure gaslighting BS coming from a media which, quite frankly, I am glad that there are shows like yours, young lady. I am glad that we have social media that now just goes around the artists of propaganda. We are engaged in fifth generation warfare. And anybody wants to look up what that is, follow General Mike Flynn.
Now, so as you heard him say that there's evidence that the judges were paid off, and then Kari Lake had this to say.
I think a day of reckoning is coming in Maricopa County in Arizona, the really ground zero for the most corrupt elections in our country. And there's some stiff competition. I mean, I could name a few states, including Georgia and Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and others. And this is why the president is pushing for the Save America Act. It really is about saving America. I've been watching your program tonight, Greg, and all of the malcontents in politics that you've talked about tonight, including Mamdani. You know, sometimes you scratch your head and say, how do these people get into office? Are people really that dumb? But what it really is, I believe, is elections are really that bad. And what we need to see is legal voters voting, not illegals. We need to see our voter rolls cleaned up, and we need to show proof of citizenship to vote and have paper ballots, hand counted, no machines, and no mail-in ballots, except for if you're traveling or if you are in the military or if there's some sort of an emergency. It's really simple to clean up our elections. And then we can know that the people we elect are really there because they won. Why do you think all these people in Congress and in the Senate don't want to pass the SAVE Act? I think a lot of them are very worried that if we really have truly honest elections, they won't be sitting in the Senate. They won't be sitting in the House of Representatives.
That makes a lot of sense, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of these people in Congress, Senate, state seats, judges, they don't want the Save America Act to be passed. They don't want elections to be audited. They want mail-in ballots, and they want Dominion and Smartmatic machines all across this nation. Well, why? Well, because they know if our elections become free and fair and citizens only, in person with voter ID, one day voting, They know they're cooked. Because the American people in a mass majority are not for transgenderism for all. They're against men and women's sports. They're against open borders. They're against illegal immigration. And most Americans have common sense. So, ladies and gentlemen, they are cooked. Like Senator Finchem just said, I'm not going to get ahead of the DOJ, but a day of reckoning is coming. God bless you. I'll keep you updated. Stay tuned. I'll see you on the next